following program on Ada Derana 24 is classified for general audience. It is intended for all ages. It contains little or no violence, no strong language, and little or no sexual dialogue or situations.
Good evening, and you're joining us on another episode on Business Best this week, and this is a platform where we showcase the best in the business, and we will be introducing to you people who have excelled in their particular field in order to showcase their latest developments in their respective industry. Now, when considering physical activity, like there are different forms of them. People might do sports, they might do martial arts, they might use self-defense techniques, some might even do this just for an exercise also. Now, today on the show we're going to talk about a new style which I have come across recently and a company that promotes this style as well. So with that introduction, I would like you to be introduced to Kunchana Ranasinghe, who is the CEO of Krav Maga Sri Lanka. Kunchana, thank you so much for taking the time to join me on the show today.
Thank you very much, Shanali. Thank you very much for inviting me here today.
Of course. To start off our discussion, Kunchana, Krav Maga is a very new term, even for me. So I want you to tell us about what's the difference now between Krav Maga and martial arts. Is it the same thing, or what are the differences?
Yeah, as you mentioned, like Krav Maga is new to Sri Lankans, but actually we are operating since 2012 here in Sri Lanka. So we are the pioneers of introducing Krav Maga to Sri Lanka. And so when it comes to the difference between martial arts and Krav Maga actually developed for military use, right? So hope you get the idea, like for the military purpose, they developed this skill set, the set of self-defense techniques. And when it comes to, let's say, other martial arts, they have limitations because within itself they have limitations. Here in Krav Maga, there are no rules, there is no referee, and the ultimate objective is defend yourself. It's about surviving. Here we don't talk about this tournaments and medals, trophies, nothing. Here our ultimate task is defend ourselves.
So how do you know that you have, okay, before going into that question, now Krav Maga Sri Lanka is your institute and you're doing programs also in that. So tell me a bit about Krav Maga Sri Lanka. How do these operations go?
Yes, we introduced Krav Maga to Sri Lanka in year 2011, but officially we established as a company in 2012 by Master Satis Thiramunige. He is our founder, he is our chairman. So I am the CEO and head instructor here, Sri Lanka and Maldives. So actually we have three target areas. Basically, firstly, like we are working with elite military and law enforcement. So when it comes to elite military, we provide our services to Special Task Force, Commando, Navy Marines. And again, when it comes to law enforcement, we provide our services to Special Task Force, prisons and police school. So secondly, we are working with civil clients. So those are weekly basis classes. And thirdly, we are providing our services to kids and teens. Those are operating in schools basically. And not only that, like we do some programs. There are requirements, like there are inquiries coming from corporates. So we have tailor-made programs for their staffs, tailored programs.
All right. So now, is this Krav Maga a very popular form of self-defense technique? So tell us a little bit more about Krav Maga, from where it originated and how you brought this system into Sri Lanka.
Yes, this was introduced by Israelis, the Grandmaster called Emil Lichtenfeld. The meaning of Krav Maga is a Hebrew term. Meaning of Krav Maga is contact combat. So he introduced this system because he found out there is a gap between the traditional martial art versus the situation that they face during the war. So he wanted to develop something very practical, and without wasting so much of time. The people should be empowered within a shorter period, because they are preparing soldiers for the war those days, like 1940s. So they don't have much time to spend on this basic training, this training, that training. No, they wanted to have something very unique for war. That's why that's how this Krav Maga developed. Then my master, he trained in Israel, and Master Satish. So he found out like there is a gap even in Sri Lanka, 2009 after the civil war. So he wanted to empower our military. That's how we started our journey in Sri Lanka.
Right. So tell me now, you said you're providing this service for all age groups, like the middle age group and also kids and teens and also the military also.
Yes.
So what is the difference? Do you all train the same way as you all train the military to the normal civil people also?
No, of course not. Because there is a very clear demarcation, because military, why we train military special units, that's for their job description, right? But civilians, the threats they face day to day, we have a set of syllabus for them. It's kind of a diluted one, not the same exact one for the military. We don't do military and law enforcement programs, and civil programs are totally different.
Okay. So tell me, Kunchana, where is your institute located and how can people enroll with you all?
Yes, our main center is near BMICH Colombo 7, and we have another couple of branches, one in Hangmella. Recently we have started one in Kurunagala and Katunayaka, and there are another couple of branches we are willing to start, like within before end of this year. We will be able to cover entire country.
Okay.
Main areas, not entire country, the main areas that we are focusing, we will be able to cover.
Now, throughout these years of service, from which age category have you had the most applicants from?
Middle age in the sense, most of the clients, like about 28 to between 40. That is our main age group.
Is there a reason why the middle-aged crowd is more?
I think with my experience for past 10 years, there are lots of non-communicable diseases and different stress level. People do Krav Maga not only because of self-defense. Self-defense is one part there. That's our main part there. But throughout this training process, they get different type of experiences, because they get together with different type of people, right? Different levels of people. So most of them are like working personnel. So due to their workload, due to their stress level, they are looking for some alternative, like some kind of a solution. I think the location where we are in Colombo 7, it's easy for them to reach us. I know like people have different mindsets. Some want to do gym, some do CrossFit, some do swimming, some do different activities, dancing and all. The Krav Maga is also a kind of a lifestyle now. Now there is a trend, like even though we don't advertise it, if you go through our Facebook page, we don't advertise much in the sense, like kind of twice a year only we advertised. But it's throughout the verbal communication, people are engaging with our programs.
So how can you describe the trend of popularism from the time you started till now?
Tell you frankly, it's a massive. We never expected that much. As I mentioned before, like without doing even a proper marketing campaigns, no advertisements, we are getting people. Why? The way that we engage, the way that we share this knowledge, this is kind of an experience we are sharing, right? This is not something, even if you go through YouTube channel, you can get lots of information. Even online you can learn. There are online self-defense certification courses as well. But the thing is, are you getting what you really want? why people need to do self-defense? It's knowing something that kind of that skill, that type of a skill is like having an insurance, because you don't know at what point you will need it. Do we know? No.
That's true.
Cannot predict, no. So then people will need something like this, which can defend themselves, not only them, like, and their loved ones.
All
So
right.
there is a huge progress. That's why we expanded. Like, even though there is a national crisis, everyone knows, everyone aware about that, right? We managed to establish our new branch, 2 branches. Likewise, we will be moving forward.
Okay, Kunchana. Now, something interesting that you mentioned was the certification. Now, I want to ask you if Krav Maga is providing us some sort of certification also once they finish learning this technique as well. But before that, we have to go into a short commercial break. We'll be back soon. You're watching Business Best. Welcome back to Business Best, and we were in discussion with Kunchana Ranasinghe, who is the CEO of Krav Maga Sri Lanka. Kunchana, we left off in the first segment. You were mentioning about a certification also, and about the age groups that you are providing this defense technique to. Coming back to the certification now, does Krav Maga also provide a certification? But because when we consider karate, they have levels, like they have the belt levels, starting from white belt to the black belt. Is Krav Maga also similar to that?
Yes, of course. It's more similar to the karate grading system. And when you ask about the certification, yes, we are an affiliated institution. We are affiliated with the International Kapap Association, that's called IKA Israel, under Grandmaster Moshe Galisko. So we do provide certificates, like there is a time frame from white belt to yellow belt. There is a syllabus that they have to cover. So the grading certification is something else, and also we do provide tailor-made services, tailor-made syllabuses for organizations. Then there are also certification programs happen.
So you all do corporate events as well?
Yes, of course. Lots of corporate events that we are doing. Mainly we are focusing on women's, because there was a concept in my mind like empowering women through self-defense. So from the day I established these civil classes, I used to I work towards that. So we have very good results, because we engage with different levels of women's like women organizations in Sri Lanka, even with top corporates, garment industry especially. So we have done more than like 10,000, like past 10 years we have trained more than 10,000 women.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Oh, what made you come up with this idea to focus on women especially?
Because whenever I go and do a corporate program, I get lots of questions from women, because like the current society where we live, the common threats and harassments they face. So we have some set of skills, very nice, very easy to apply. It's about let's say we will be able to teach you some nice techniques, but if you cannot perform when you face to a real situation, then there will be a problem, no? That's why Krav Maga became more popular, because it's very easy to apply. Because why I'm saying very easy, let's say if you talk about some other martial arts, you need to have a set of physical level, set of what you call this conditioning part, everything you should be do during this process. Krav Maga is also, it's necessary, but they are coming to us to find a solution for their problem. If we drag this process, because they are not schooling, they have work, they have priorities in their life. So within this shorter period, there should be something for them to protect themselves. That's why Krav Maga is very special. That's why most of women come and practice with us.
Okay, Kunchana. So now tell me, how were you exposed to this Hebrew technique of self-defense?
My original background is judo. So from 1998, I started my judo career in 1998. From 1998 till today, I have tried different type of martial arts. Even though while I'm practicing Krav Maga, teaching Krav Maga, I tried different martial arts, different combat sports, and this Krav Maga is the brand that brought me up to this level. Why? The program that I have done with the society, because through this product, I easily reach the society where we live. I found out the real problems they have. So let's say if I'm wearing this attire, if something happened to me, if I done some traditional stuff, traditional martial arts, there are limitations, right? When it comes to from the attire to the mindset, there are limitations. But when it comes to Krav Maga, first of all we are treating to their mindset, the physique and mindset. We are treating to their physique and the mindset that should be balanced. Balanced in the sense when it comes to these techniques, if something happened unexpectedly, you need to react promptly. So here in Krav Maga we say, think simply, act promptly. So that is why I really like this. That is why I wanted to put my 100% into Krav Maga. That's why we are still building this brand across the country.
Kunchana, you mentioned some limitations when doing the other forms of martial arts. What sort of limitations are there?
Limitations in the sense, let's say, as I mentioned before, there is a frame, no, like we cannot do whatever we want. Let's say, as a judo person, judo is a grappling, throwing art, stand-up throws and ground fighting, the combination of both. In karate, it's a striking art. You cannot grapple, right? If Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's a ground game. But you can, if you really want to try the mix one, the MMA, mixed martial art is there.
Correct.
So if you talk about Sanda, Wushu, it's kind of throws, it's kind of more close to MMA. And combat sambo is also like that. But Krav Maga, but all these martial arts, let's say, you need to have a certain physique to perform. If a weak person, if someone doesn't have much confidence about the person, so easily, they are the people who easily will become the target. If something goes wrong, they have their basic rights to protect themselves. So if they are not strong enough to handle, why? They think like they don't have that much strength to go and perform. They don't have that much strength to go and perform martial arts, because it's a process, it's a long journey. You can't get quick results. But in Krav Maga, that's how we develop these courses. That's why I'm saying this is the most easiest and most powerful self-defense system in the world.
So you're telling me you don't have to have a strong physique in order to learn this?
Strong physique you will need, but it'll develop. Physique is only one component. You need to have a strong mindset also. The way we design these programs, within a shorter period, the participants can achieve that. By experience, we are telling you, within a shorter period, within 3 to 6 months time, you can see very clear results.
Okay, Kunchana. Now, when considering these forms of self-defense, now it's a form of training, of lifestyle basically to other people. So what are the credentials and the qualifications does Krav Maga Sri Lanka have in order to provide this training to people?
Yeah, our affiliation is with the IK, International Cup-Up Association, under Grandmaster Moshe Galisko. So that's our credentials.
All right. So in the first segment, Kunchana, you mentioned that you're operating in Maldives as well. So
yes,
at the moment, is it the only country?
No, at the moment, officially we reached that point as our strategic move because of our future plans. So we are expanding our brand actually. Last year actually I just made a visit there in Maldives. Then I found out there is a requirement, there's a gap. Then I came up with a solution. So now we are operating one of our branch in Maldives. Not only that, even in United Kingdom and Italy, our grand chairman Satis Thiramunike, because he reside in Italy. So he is doing Krav Maga under our name, but we officially not yet started there.
Okay.
But our main focus in here, the Asian region.
Okay. So why did you want to start off with the Maldives?
Because as I mentioned before, I found the gap, the opportunity.
Alright.
As a business person, as a trainer, we should be aware what we are doing, right? We should aware where are we, who are the target market. So I found out the gap. Now we are trying to bridge that.
All right. Now, Kunchana, you mentioned that this form of Krav Maga is beneficial, how it's beneficial for the military and for women. So tell me how it will be beneficial for individuals and also corporates.
Yes. So as I mentioned previously, what will happen if you enroll with us, like with this type of activity? First of all, like I told you, we are trying to reach their mindset. I'm sorry. Then again, within a shorter period, the confidence level, you will see like my confidence level boosted. Through that, the self-esteem also boosted. So they empowered, basically they empowered. I have, with my experience, past few years with my experience, I have seen when they empowered, they try to empowering the others as well. They're empowering others throughout their experiences, throughout the challenges that they faced. Then in return, the person, if you can gather that type of people, mindset towards the company, the organization goals will automatically can achieve, like that type of mindset. The main thing is the mind. If you have a proper confidence, solid confidence about yourself, if you can be patient under stress, right? This is what we do throughout our programs.
So usually in corporate events, does it usually go on for 1 day or is it like 2-3 days?
It's
Is
depend
it
on their
similar?
requirement.
Right. Is it similar to an outbound training?
With some outbound training, we have done some self-defense part as well. But this is not an outbound training. This is purely self-defense. Like, because we don't just do self-defense event, we do kind of an assessment before we provide our services. So let's say some organization might ask, Kunchana, we need your services, we need your support, we have some problems here. Then we are doing some assessment with the HR and we do some assessment. Then we do provide our service. Based on that answers only, we tailor-made the program.
Okay, Kunchana. We are reaching the end of our program also. So as my final question, what is your final vision that Krav Maga has?
Yes, we would like to spread this across the nation, across the country, and strengthen our society, our people, at least defend themselves at any cost. That is my vision.
Okay, just in Sri Lanka or you plan to spread this internationally?
Internationally, we will be there like in about another 5 years' time. We have a plan, we are working towards that. We have a nice, very good team, very talented team. Some civil team we have for civil trainings, for military training we have a military team that they train with us. And for the international team, we have a very good team, military special units, retired trainers, instructors who are with us, and we are developing some syllabuses for international requirements.
All right, Kunchana, I wish you all the very best then.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting.
And that was our episode on Business Best. We will be back again next week with another product or service that would interest you. Just in case you can watch us on air, you can always rewatch by catching us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Derana English. I'm Suzanne Shinali. Stay safe and have a good night.